Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Dr. Alessandro. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about dental insurance. So one thing I got to get out of the way right away. Dental insurance does not cover everything. Some people, they get a dental insurance policy and they just walk into a dental office and they say, hey, I just want everything. And I got dental insurance. Well, unfortunately, your policy will not cover everything. It will cover portions and you will have a benefit limit. But it will not cover 100% of every single procedure on this earth. There are some policies, I have to say, they're very, very good. Back in 2002, there was one called Unicare that covered 90% of virtually everything. And that was a fantastic policy. Unfortunately, I don't know if Unicare still offers that. And I really haven't heard of any other plan or any kind of insurance company policy that even comes close to that. So I can't tell you you'll find that. I hope you do. If you happen to be researching, you got to dig. Maybe you'll find something like that. But I just haven't heard of anything approaching that ever since then. So that said, dental insurance had noble intents and good beginnings. Dental insurance used to cover, more. That is, the policies used to cover more percentage-wise of a dental procedure for those offices that participated with an insurance company. And the benefit maximum of $1,500 was great back in the 1970s and 80s when this value or amount was introduced. However, some policies, some companies and policies, not all, have maintained that same benefit amount of $1,500. Now, I have seen some with $2,500 and I've heard of some at $3,000, but a lot have maintained that $1,500 amount, which of course really doesn't carry you nearly as far as it did back in the 1970s and 80s. So a lot of companies and policies have maintained that same benefit. But as you know, over time, that $1,500 value is just not nearly as great as it used to be. As time went on, of course, whenever you deal with insurance companies, no matter what it is, doesn't have to be dental, there's always going to be a certain amount of bureaucracy. Maybe you can call it some inefficiency, okay? So we were all used to, especially when I was a dental student, I would send, pre-authorization for procedures that a patient needed. Sometimes we'd get things kicked back to us because, a dental x-ray didn't quite show what the insurance company wanted. So, we'd have to take new ones and then resubmit the pre-authorization so that a patient could receive then their benefit and have procedures covered to whatever the policy allowed. Well, that's fine, and we understand that just happens. That's part of our insurance world, you could say, again, no matter what type of insurance you're talking about. But recently, there's been more of that going on. So especially ever since the pandemic, we've noticed that as a group, and I don't speak for myself necessarily because I don't directly participate with insurance, but those dentists who do have been pretty vocal about the fact that what's happened is that they've recently noticed a lot of denials of procedures or a lot of delay. So what's happened? Well, the pandemic is a part of what's happened. The pandemic caused a lot of offices, of course, to shut down. There were mandatory shutdowns. And as a result, dental insurance companies furloughed or laid off a large part of their staff. Well, when everything resumed, that is when things reopened for a lot of the dental offices in many states, these dental insurance companies were a little bit slower to rehire or, resume their normal activities and bring back their staffs. And so basically stuff piled up. So as a result, of course, claims kind of piled up and backed up and everything got delayed. And I think they're still working through that. So we're dealing with a little bit of a delay because of the pandemic and all the after effects. So, things are being kicked back to dental offices from what I see in dental forums, or denied, or just there's no progress being made. But that's likely due to the fact that a lot of staffs were laid off or furloughed, and now they're slowly being brought back, and now they have to work through the backlog. Other things that we've noticed is that companies are trying to get their members to switch dentists if they're not in network or not with the company. That is, if the dentists does not participate with them or is maybe part of the network, not directly part of the network, or some other stuff like that. I don't understand all the insurance terms, but but that's what I'm hearing and seeing. And it did happen with a couple of my patients. This is very disappointing because the relationship between a patient and a dentist is a very personal one. And, in fact, our dentists who brought these letters to us were very upset because they were saying that their dental insurance company was telling them to go somewhere else and they didn't want to go. So this is a problem. And I really think that, if you happen to have, dental insurance company and a policy and the practice you go to decides no longer to participate, it doesn't mean you have to go somewhere else. Just realize that you may be paying out of pocket for everything. And that's your choice. You can do that, or you can go somewhere else which accepts your benefits. But again, if you like your relationship with your dentist, my advice is always to stay with the dentist that you like, because it is your choice. So it was, again, disappointing to see a dental insurance company do that. Another thing that I've noticed is, and actually this happened to a close friend of mine, a dental insurance company kept on asking for the same paperwork for a procedure for a patient and did so 4 times. And the patient got very, very aggravated because the patient actually watched the dentist fill out the paperwork and submit it and receive a receipt saying that they had received his paperwork. And then they asked for all the same stuff again and again. And she was livid. So insurance companies have been, well, at least in my eyes and maybe the eyes of many people, seemingly delaying the payment of their benefits to their members, to their policyholders, and just trying to do what they can to drag their heels. So that said, that's another problem that we are noticing and that I personally have witnessed, because this was a shared patient between myself and another provider. So I know about this story and I can tell you it's true. Another thing that we're seeing is that dental insurance companies have also taken benefits from some patients that they've paid out and diverted them to another patient. And this happened again, and I witnessed it personally. Even though my practice does not directly accept insurance, we help our patients to get their benefits. But the insurance company took benefits from 2 different patients and gave them to a 3rd patient. So it's like they're taking money from people that have paid into the system and giving that money to somebody else without their knowledge. So this is something that I personally have witnessed, and I have to say that it is very disappointing. So I did want to let you all know, those of you, who are viewing who have dental insurance, that there are a lot of things that are going on right now that are not quite so great. And, if a dental practice that you're with decides not to accept your insurance anymore, it's not because they're being jerks. It's not because they're just, they're trying to make too much money and they don't care. It may be because that the dental insurance companies aren't quite playing fair, at least according to the practices that are taking that insurance. I have also heard, from dental forums where a lot of dentists are talking, that dental insurance payouts, that is the benefit amount that is paid out to the practice, are dropping. And of course that's a problem because now the dentists have to work even harder to try to earn the same amount of money. And that makes it very, very difficult, especially for the new dentists. So those dentists who are coming out of school with enormous debt loads will be working harder for less and may be unable to even pay out their loans. So that's a huge issue. So I do want to bring this all to light. Again, dental insurance, is a benefit and can be good. But we hope that things kind of get better between, dental practices and the insurance companies, which are supposed to be helping their particular beneficiaries. We all want to work together well. And so that said, thank you so much for joining me in this video, and please like and subscribe, and I hope you're all staying well and healthy.